And hello, this is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and it is what day is it? Yeah, it's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. I can't believe how time goes by so fast. Yesterday, I just drove around Los Angeles because it was my birthday. I thought, okay, I'll take a day off. And I went up to the Hollywood sign, took my dog up to the Hollywood sign. I haven't been up there in a long time. I used to live up by the Hollywood sign, so it's old, familiar territory for me. And I went down into Beverly Hills and drove around, and then finally I came back home just to get out. I find that as I'm working, I don't go out. I don't get out. I don't explore. And there's a lot of places in Los Angeles that you can explore at. So that's what I spent my birthday yesterday, is just exploring, just going around and enjoying. I met really nice people too. I went to the Lake Hollywood Park up there, and people wanted to stop and pet Skippy, and we had good conversations. You'd be surprised that when you are out and about, you can still have a good conversation with an individual, with a person, about anything. It's really an amazing thing. I have adopted a new hobby. And I never thought I would be doing this, but I'm enjoying it greatly because it stimulates my mind. It makes me become creative. I like the editing process. So what I've been doing is I have been writing small books. Now, these books are no bigger than 50, 60 pages on various different subjects. And I have covered subjects that are of an interest to me. I have covered ethics, I have covered business, I have covered small business, I have covered leadership, I have covered, yesterday, I published a new book, and it's called The New World Order of Gobbledygook. Now, a lot of you don't know what gobbledygook is. Look it up in the dictionary, but it is literally stating nonsense through words. And so I talked about the government, talked about the media, talked about business, I talked about everything, about how we disguise what's actually happening through words. A good example would be taxes. Spending taxes is now called investment. And words just like that it just disguises or tries to make it a different story than what it actually is. If they're spending tax money, they're spending. They are not investing. It's just a waste of money. It's a waste of words of how they try to explain it to us. But I talk about all different things. So I like the word gobbledygook. My dad used to always say, that's a bunch of gobbledygook, when I would tell him my story. But it's a good word. So I took that word and I built a story around it of what's happening now in our world. So it's the New World Order of Gobbledygook, and you can buy it on Amazon. That's a cheap plug, right? But I decided to do this. I've written 9 books now. And in these 9 books, I'm choosing subjects that I have an interest in, and I think other people will have an interest in also. But it is the process of writing. It is the process of thinking about what you're going to say next, planning it out, and then doing the editing. And what I have a problem with, and maybe there's some writers out there that have the same problem, that you write a few chapters and then you go back and read it and say, oh no, I gotta change here, I gotta change that, I gotta change that. I mean, you go back and you start changing stuff, and then you spend a whole bunch of time changing it. So what I've adopted is writing the full book, all the chapters where I feel I need to end it, and then go back and edit it. But I like the process. I mean, how many old guys like myself do you know who are writing 9 books and enjoying something other than getting old? I don't want to get old. I always want to be creative. I always want to be thinking about new stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there to think about. And so writing a book for me in this new hobby of mine is really, really fun for me. I deal with taxes. I deal with mediation work on a normal daily basis. But I need that other stimuli too. And I thought, okay, writing books is my good stimuli. Now, the hardest book that I'm writing at the moment, and I've been on it a year, and it's on the Constitution, because I wanted to understand the Constitution myself. The Constitution, all the amendments to the Constitution, everything about it, and what the framers were really talking about when they set it up. But it takes research, because you got to go back and look at the words that were being used by the framers of the Constitution at that time. So you have to research. But this one has been a really tough one for me to write. And I'm not writing it for anybody else. I'm writing it for me because I want to understand how the Constitution plays in our life on a daily basis. And you would be surprised how it does play so much in the roles of our life in business, in religion, in politics, forming of laws. It really plays a big part in our life. But that has been a tough one, and I've been on that over a year now. And I have to write a few, and then I have to put it to the side because it's really an in-depth excuse me. It's an in-depth look at the Constitution. So I think that all of us need stimuli, and I think all of us need this ability to go out and do something different from what we actually do in real life. And writing to me was a good thing because I could do it anywhere. I could do it at the Starbucks. I could do it on the road someplace. I could do it in the plane. I can do it anywhere that I want to do that. And I think that's the most important part, because when you are out and about and you have your laptop with you or you have your cell phone with you, I do a lot of work on my cell phone, especially on the research side. You can sit down at Starbucks, get a cup of coffee, and just be creative. What do I want to put in this book? What are the words that I want to use? What is the thought process that I want to use? Now, there's another kind of book that I want to write also, and this would be a personal story of a story that I experienced when I went to Lourdes, France, and got in contact with what true evil was. I mean, true evil I have never felt in my life before until I went to Lourdes, France. And I'll tell you that story, but it's going to be in a book form. I'm just putting all of my notes together at the moment to kind of digest through of how I want to express myself with this story. I tell you, I like trying new things. That's why I love to travel. I love to take pictures. I love my work. I love what I do. I love my mediation work where I'm solving problems. I love my tax work when I'm advising people on business issues. But I like the stimuli of writing. And I think each and every single one of you should go out and think, okay, what can I do to put stimuli in my life? It doesn't have to be with a whole bunch of other people. It can be just for you. What's going to make me a better person? What is it? What is out there that's going to drive my desire to know more things? That's the most important thing of life, is constantly learning, right? And so that's why I chose, and I like my hobby. It's just a hobby because I know I'm not going to make any money at this, but it's the process of writing and being creative. That's why I do it. Find something that you can do. See if there isn't a hobby out there that is going to give you a lot of stimulus that you are gushing almost with wanting to talk to other people, wanting to get their stories, wanting to hear what's happened in their life, wanting to get their experiences in business or in nursing or in health or whatever it may be. But you have this constant communication process. And that's one thing about writing. It is a communication process. I wrote a book this last month, and it was on the book of Proverbs and the ethics of money. I think if you want to read that book, that's a good book, because we go through Proverbs, the book of Proverbs in the Bible, and I have chosen the verses from there that talk about money and talk about how we have to be good stewards of our money and how we have to watch of what happens when children steal from us. I looked at all those possibilities of what the book of Proverbs says about money. Even women going out and creating their own businesses. You'd be surprised there is a verse in Proverbs that encourages women to go out and start their businesses, to buy their farms, to do whatever they wanted to do. It's a good way to learn. I tell you, this writing process, I'm very satisfied with it because I am thinking and I am exploring and I am learning and I am becoming a better person. So I encourage every single one of you, go out and find a hobby that's going to inspire you. This is Mike Lodge. I am the Business Advisor. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.